Hello YouTube, it's CN Maritime History here back again with another video, and tonight I will be talking about the Aleksandr Suvorov. Now, if you're wondering why this picture looks very blurry, this was taken almost 40 years ago, and also to blow it up to the size and proportions that I needed as it was going to be blurry. So anyway, let's start the video. The Aleksandr Suvorov was built at Slovenské Loděnice in Komárno, Czechoslovakia in 1981. It was named after the 18th century Russian Generalissimo Aleksandr Suvorov. Her length is 135.7 meters, width of 16.8 meters, with a draft of 2.9 meters, and power, which was 3 by 736 kilowatts. She has 3 engines and 4 decks. Cruising speed is 16 miles per hour or 14 nautical knots, and her passenger capacity is 400. During the 1980s, Aleksandr Suvorov was a flagship of the Volga-Don lines and was based at Rostov-on-Don. On June 5, 1983, Aleksandr Suvorov sailed from Rostov to Moscow. There were 330 passengers, 30 crew, and 35 service personnel aboard. It is believed that some unregistered passengers were also aboard the ships, or also known as stowaways. Approximately 2200 hours, or 10 p.m. at night, an auction was advertised as taking place in the cinema hall on the upper deck. A TV translation was to take place at 22:45 or 10:45, which attracted many passengers to the upper deck. The chief mate, Vladimir Mitenkov, and helmsman Uvarov operated the ship from the wheelhouse, which was also on the upper deck. Now, I didn't study it too well, but I believe the wheelhouse is this structure right here. Sorry, I already read that part. Captain Vladimir Klemenov was resting as captain. Also, if I mess any of these Russian names up, I'm very sorry. The ship was sailing at 16 miles per hour, which was its maximum speed. The ship reached the 6th span of the bridge instead of the passable 2nd span, which was lower than the main deck. At that moment, a freight train went over the bridge. Controllers of the bank had noticed that Aleksandr Suvorov had come to the wrong span. They sent a radio message to the ship, but there was no reply. Then they launched a warning flare, but it was too late. The span cut the deckhouse in the cinema hall, whilst the lowest deck was undamaged. The impact damaged the bridge. Now, when I say upper deck, I mean this entire span, which is where everybody was because of the auction. Well, not everybody, but most everybody. The impact damaged the bridge, derailed some cars, and some of their contents fell onto the ship. Aleksandr Suvorov continued for another 1,000 feet after the bridge. The rescue boats reached Aleksandr Suvorov 40 minutes later. Soon after the tragedy, Ulyanovsk was declared a closed city, meaning that people could not get in. Volunteers became blood donors and made makeshift coffins. Most of the injured survivors had Aval's wounds as a result of being hit by grain and coal from the train cars. And Aval's wounds, in case you don't know, it's an injury in which a body structure is torn off by trauma or surgery. Meaning, like, to be completely honest, like, they get hit by it, it's gone. And that happened by, being hit by grain and coal from the train cars, and very large quantities of such, as when it hit Aleksandr Suvorov hit the breach span, it caused some part of the train to derail. Immediately after the catastrophe, different versions of events circulated amongst the population, ranging from the drunkenness of the crew to criminal activity. A special commissioner, Haidar Aliyev, investigated the disaster. The commission proposed 4 official versions: criminal negligence of Chief Mate Mitenkov, criminal negligence of helmsman Uvarov, criminal negligence of the railwaymen who had not set up the illumination of the bridge. 4. There was no illumination at the bridge. There was a switch tower on the bridge, which looked similar to the navigation sign, which was there to indicate the rate span users passing into the bridge. Railwaymen and sailors had previously argued about the illumination of the bridge, but there was speculation that Aliyev protected the Soviet Railways Minister Boris Beshchev, and the crew of the Suvorov were accused. An expert proved that Mitenkov and Uvarov, who were both killed in the incident, so the first mate and the helmsman, both who were at the helm during the time, were both killed in the incident, and it was confirmed in an autopsy that they were sober. Sober. After the accident, Captain Klemenov was picked up at the dam near the bridge footing. He was in swimming trunks and was distraught. As he had failed to prevent the accident and not provide a proper order, he was condemned to 10 years imprisonment, but was released 6 years later. He died of what? Oh, he died of an infarction, which is tissue death, due to inadequate blood supply. That sounds really bad. He died of this in 1990. And this is the story of the very short story, might I say, of the Aleksandr Suvorov. Hope you guys have a nice day, and if you have any ideas for what to cover next, I have a few battleships lined up, but if you would like me to cover anything else, just let me know. Bye.